Don't stare. How would you look after eons in some ghastly crypt? Your people are rather prone to death. Mine are not. Yet when I emerged from my completely unjustified imprisonment, I found them gone. Our culture forgotten. Any trace of the world I knew all but obliterated. I must even hide my true face beneath an ever-shifting mask for fear you savages will attack me. That is how I wander this strange world. Trying to uncover the truth about a history you primitive people never even knew existed.
All my life, I've been a performer, a musician, beloved and celebrated by all. But I have a secret. I'm also a playground for sprites and spirits and worse. The voice that rings inside me now is darker than any that came before. Almost caused a bunch of my fans to rip each other to pieces. But you can trust me. I've got this under control. Step 1, find out who or what is trying to take control of my mind. Step 2, make it sorry it ever tried.
Famed, of course, for my unique red skin and unparalleled skills as a general of the House of War, I, the Red Prince, was raised within the vast palaces of the fabled Forbidden City. I was destined to become the next emperor. But my ambitions suffered a bit of a setback when I fell from grace for cavorting with demons. Now, I'm exiled and hunted by assassins. But I assure you, I remain undaunted and as determined as ever to claim my rightful throne.
I used to be a slave, kept under the thumb of the master, the bastard that made me hunt down my own kin. How did he do that, you ask? With the living scar you see on my cheek, this horror that takes no more than a song sung by Master Dearest to control my very thoughts. But now the tables have turned. I broke my shackles, and when I finally find him, I will make the Master sing a very different kind of song.
I'll yield to none.
I'm ready. Prepare yourself.
I'm ready.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead, I became part of their story.
So it wasn't a dream after all.
No lesions, no trauma.
I don't even remember them strapping me down.
Ah, you're up. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself. There. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. No, you're alive, and you're having a conversation. You are on a ship, of course, but luckily for us both, we're merely sailing the plain old sea.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits. And if you're a particularly good girl, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source. For good. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those Source spells of yours? See what happens. Oh, do go on. I won't hold it against you. Promise. My, aren't we a meek little lamb? Perhaps I needn't have collared you at all, though it does look darling on you. So let's just leave it on, shall we? Because, to answer your question, what the collar does is this. It makes you unable to cast Source. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's. Oh, everything's spick and span. Nothing left to do, really.
I'll need to write to headquarters right away. No lesions, no trauma. It was bled by magic. Yes, this is a rare kind of magic. I'll need to write to headquarters right away. No lesions, no trauma. He was bled by magic. Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Finn was killed by Source. If a Magister could do that, there wouldn't be a Magister. It looks more like a passenger managed to slip their collar. And the rest, well, you see the evidence in front of you. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Think about it. It's one of you who got killed, not one of us. We want to find who did it and bring them to justice. Who's your real enemy here? You let me know if you hear anything. Whoever did this is dangerous.
Oh, my, this
A young Magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass. Behind the Magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or you'd be a suspect like the rest of them. Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. You surprised? You're one of them. You know what sorcerers are capable of? Whoever did this found a way around their collar and killed a man. Small ones this time, thank the gods. We'll find out who did it, one way or another.
Sing us a song, I know you can. A no doesn't become a yes over time.
Your kind always hung closest to the divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
Soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
It was one of them. I know it. Did you see the body? They ought to let you taste a bit. Maybe you'd find out who done it.
That's enough.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, Ghetto. You hear that?
Well, you've got
The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
The fellow cocks his ear, listening.
That isn't anger, it's...
He cocks his ear to the other side, then smiles.
anticipation. She senses something. I'd hold on to my breeches if I were you, mate. That's all you hear, though. Listen close. There now, just like that.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water.
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
There, you heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, kiddo. Good news. No, you beautiful idiot. That wasn't any rat. It was the wheel. Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east.
Pardon my beard. That means if we'd been travelling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy. Ah, so you've eyes as well as ears, eh? You'll go far, mate, even here.
I've seen more appetizing things coming out.
Captain, actually. And that figure tells me we're getting close to the Joy. Close to what lies beyond it, too.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all, thank ye kindly, Gero.
There has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magister's more concern than your...
He continues stroking his beard, a beatific smile on his lips, and doesn't acknowledge you anymore.
Well, well, what have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we? See if you'll do.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
One of us wouldn't kill our own.
There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime merchandise on a squalid little ship like this. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook? Oh, goodness, no. And don't even mention the demon's testes that are turnips. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor? Yes, I can tell from your vagabond chic, a bag is as good as a shirt kind of style. I shouldn't be getting my hopes up. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after. Just as I thought. That explains what's besieging my nostrils. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate, shall we? As per your own testimony, you have the taste buds of a dung beetle, the fashion sense of a monkey in a clown suit, and your personal hygiene reminds one of a carcass rotting in the sun. That won't do at all, see? I'm sad to say I must deny you the opportunity to be my slave. Ever so sorry. I know, but you just don't have what it takes. A good slave's made of sterner stuff, I'm afraid. Still, hone your skills, and one day you may just qualify for a position in a lesser household than mine. You keep dreaming, you hear?
She got eaten by a void woken.
Forget it.
My mum doesn't like elves, but I have a secret. When I grow up, I'm gonna be an elf. She'll get used to it.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle.
You look a little bit elfish. Maybe your daddy was an elf.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Do you know Losa? She's a really good singer.
You think me mad?
Mad? Insufferable.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else.
Here's the register, ma'am. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far?
He tugs the collar of his uniform and chuckles.
Sorry you're upset, ma'am, but we all wear what we wear for a reason. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
Keep with those bolts trained on her, and if she tries to run, keep with those bolts trained on her, and if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
What on earth you seem on edge, officer?
What on earth?
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What's happened?
The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around him. He is stock still. You can't see if he's living or dead. You hear a faint thud, thud, thud. He's alive, but only just.
Oh! What? What happened? Must have been the turnips. Water? Wine, for goodness sake! Oh!
The lizard's eyes close as he slips into unconsciousness. The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor. You shake the lizard by the shoulders, but you're unable to wake him up. The dwarf lies in a heap on the... You hear a faint...
No, not the final dark. Not yet.
Her hand lies limp in yours. She's too weak to stand.
The dice roll darkly. They're rolling for me.
The elf lies motionless, her eyes staring into a nothingness, like death. The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a dire-looking wound.
Hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another way.
The young woman lies in a heap on the floor. She's breathing normally, but her eyes are wide open, like she doesn't stir.
Not long before this thing snaps into splinters. God damn it! Need to get off this wreck, and quick!
You shake the lizard by the shoulders, but... The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor.
Great gods! Something's pounding on the hull!
The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You recognize the symbol immediately for what it is, a warning of death fog within. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. The color drains from your hand, and you are left numb. The moment you touch the door, your belly goes hollow. It doesn't budge. The moment you touch the door... The moment you touch the door...
I need to get off this ship.
Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
You said there were other people down there. We need to help them.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time to get the hell out of here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you! There's a ladder right over there. You can go straight down.
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear? Had to open your big mouth, did you?
If you can walk, get yourself up the ladder. There's a... Wait! Void Woken!
I thought Void Woken was supposed to be scary.
I've faced worse.
Let the games begin.
They who are about to triumph salute you.
These beardless bugs won't sink the ship on my watch. Telling where there might be more. We need to move.
Away! The sea's hungry. We don't have much time.
I hear something. It's Magister Siwan. The one...
She tries to speak, but can only gape as she clutches her neck, trying to stem the bleeding of a gushing wound. With jagged movements, she raises her clenched fist and holds out a length of cloth soaked with some kind of strong-smelling tincture. Blood quickly soaks through the cloth. Magister Siwan's mouth opens and closes, her eyes wide in terror. Blood pours out from around the bandage. Magister Siwan reaches out to you, her hand flailing. It's working. The pressure is stemming the flow of blood. Siwan clutches your arm, her eyes locked with yours. Something within the ship snaps. The floorboards shudder. Siwan struggles to her feet, clinging to you tightly. The ship lets out a deep groan, then cracks.
Ripping the ship apart! This is it! She's going down!
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
Those Voidwoken made short bloody work of the ship. Am I the lone survivor? This must be Fort Joy. I thought the Order would get rid of any trace of the old Source King.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the crown of his head. He spots you, and his arms snap to his sides.
I'm not supposed to talk to elves. Well, elves eat people and their pets. Elves don't know the alphabet.
The child's eyes grow wide.
People ask you to eat them? Really? Neat. Are you a sorcerer? One of those guys that brings the bad void things here?
The child looks at you straight on, unafraid, searching your face. He lifts his mirror to his nose, closes one eye, and looks at himself again.
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong or crazy. No one cares where I go. They know I can't leave the island. It's nicer out here than inside anyway. But you didn't die. I guess I am, but it's just normal to be scared. Nowhere isn't scary. There isn't anywhere safer. That's what I mean. You'll see.
This statue must be 1,000 years old. Wonder how much longer it'll last.
Now speak.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with acute intensity. Its eyes clear, and it shakes its head, confused.
I've spotted something.
I repeat myself?
I know nothing of any birds.
We already know the truth, Magister. Now speak.
I am a proud loyal to the Order.
Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escapees.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use. Cut it out.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come!
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Stay silent, elf!
Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood form against the dagger's edge and quickly fall to the ground. She groans.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think you would lie to his only son, your bishop, and your friend these many years. The fate of our realm hangs in the balance. If you will not help us save it, then you will help the Void destroy it. Dallas?
Yes, Your Holiness?
I believe we're done here.
What a waste. Come, we'll be needed elsewhere.
Where is he?
A single name throbs across your brain. Verdas, Verdas, Verdas! He must escape. He cannot die here. He cannot!
Come on, old man. I can't wait all day.
Dear one, help me teach this beast. He must respect.
Respect? Huh. Someone's got to keep this place running. Griff can't do it for free. Why'd you gotta make this so hard?
An intense-looking man steps between the thug and the elf and rolls up his sleeves, revealing well-muscled and heavily scarred arms.
Just stand aside, won't you, mate? This is no business of yours.
Lone wolves decide their own business.
The thug freezes in fear for a moment before shuffling back to the protection of his crony.
Pay up, elf. No one shorts Griff, especially not one of you. You two ought to be thanking your lucky gods it's us, and not the Magisters enforcing round here. A fool never knows what they've got till it's well and gone. Now come on, elf. If you make me say it again, there's gonna be trouble.
And neither will I.
We got a system, and it looks like you don't want to fit in.
Follow me, before more of them trouble us.
I've an errand to run around here first. I'll catch up with you there later.
Remember, past the kitchens, down to the beach, inside the caves there. There is a safe place.
The man rolls his sleeves back down and casually wipes some blood from his cheek. He nods at you, the shadow of a smile on his lips.
Good work there. Good work. I can tell you've got chops.
He stretches out one rough hand to shake yours. He grips your hand tight as a vice and shakes it, hard.
Good to meet you, lady. Say, you don't look all that busy. I could use someone to watch my back, and it looks like you could use someone to watch yours. I've just got a small errand to run, and then I'll be looking to get the hell out of here while I've still got a neck to collar. How about we stick together until we get out of this place? I didn't like the look in their eyes. Sure you didn't either.
He smiles broadly and looks away. You're not sure, but you could swear he just winked at you. He shrugs, looking off to the side.
Mercenaries. It's a job. My job. The usual way. Haphazard, terrifying, and drenched in blood. Haven't quite worked out the details yet, but I'll wager it'll be no worse than what'll happen if we stay put. 2 heads are better than 1, and when push comes to shove, 4 fists are better than 2, right? Everyone needs to make a living. I make mine running errands.
The little black cat trailing you hisses at him, hair raising a ridge along its back. Without batting an eyelid, the man rumbles a lupine growl. The cat hides behind your leg, mewling.
That's the truth. For me, for you, for everyone in this place. Why not help each other?
He grins, sharp teeth glittering in the midday sun.
So, before we hit the road, it's best if we decide battle strategies up front. Should keep more of our blood in. Survival's my main priority. I'll use every trick in the book to keep us alive. But if a wayfarer's not what you're after, I've got other skills. What do you need? Can do. Onwards.
He scans the horizon for threats with one green eye, then nods back at you.
Right you are. Lead the way.
you see them, miss? Bishop Alexander and the Hammer herself. They were so close, almost within arm's reach. A traitor cannot be murdered. A traitor can only receive their due. The Divine Order's all that stands between everything you see and a Void Woken's throat. Any traitor to them is a traitor to us all. Believe it or don't. The Divine Order doesn't need our loyalty. They'll save us in spite of ourselves.
He hasn't changed a bit. Always.
You there. You've just arrived, isn't that right? Are you quite alone? It's just, I've a proposition. Something very worth knowing. But it's hardly a group affair. I only need one. Oh, noble. But after the Magisters take you all, your nobility will have been for nothing. Good luck with your friends, though.
Say, I don't know any elvish ditties. Got nothing spicy enough to keep my mind off this place for a few bars. Don't break your head vain now. Been that long since you've been home, has it? Yeah, pity. Pity.
That's what happened, isn't it?
What do you want, freak? I got my good eye on you, bub. Make it quick. I never seen one myself, but me cousin up in Gore said one appeared from the clear sky one day and ate up every child under the age of 12. I don't know where they come from, but without the Divine, there ain't much we can do to stop them. Mind your manners round Griff, eh?
So this is Fort Joy.
A crumbling disaster.
Please, a delivery. Surely you'll have one.
Hmm? Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm very tired. Abominably tired. Beg your pardon.
Let me guess. You're here for a match. Dunno what you heard, but they won't take it easy on you just 'cause you're an elf. Ha! That's the spirit. Down the hatch, then. Thorn will eat you up.
I got that special shipment you was asking after.
Take your coin, then.
Leave him be. Don't make me say it again.
Listen, I can help you if you just...
Shut up, elf. This clown? Caught him stealing from my kitchen. Still won't say where he stashed my supplies. Sound like someone you'd let off with a slap on the wrist. Caught him red-handed trying to make off with a second crate after he took the first. Went down like a rent boy when we grabbed him. Easy. Supplies. Crate of food, citrus in particular. He'll talk, or he'll die quiet. Alls I want is my supplies. Happy to let this clown die in a gutter instead of my kitchen. Bring...
Take your coin, then.
An elf, caked in mud and blood, looks up at you from the bottom of the cage. He holds his shoulder at a strange angle. Despite his condition, he appears eager for your attention.
You believe what he says? That I am a thief? Never trust the man who holds the key to another's freedom. Would you trust the fellows who strapped that collar around your neck? Like me, you look for your own freedom. Out of Fort Joy. Am I correct? Too bad. I think maybe we help each other. I know a way out. I show you. And you? You help me out of here. Finally. Progress. Griff releases me if he sees I do not have what he misses. You must find who steals them. After I am free, you are free. I see no one. In fact, I only hear the sound of Griff clearing his throat. You know how he does? Like so. For some time, I think Griff takes his own supplies. But I see the anger in him that he does not find it. He truly does not find what he seeks. Griff is a powerful man. Power is mysterious, in case you haven't noticed. I intend no harm. I want only some provisions. A bit of bread, a potato or two. Nothing Griff should be loath to give. I need to escape, and I have people to consider. You understand? Thank you. And...
Don't tell anyone where you got this, eh?
Frightfully busy at the moment, love. Haven't got any liquor on hand, have you? This fella could use a little comfort. All the worse for old Dane. He crossed one of Griff's card sharks and got a club to the skull. Doomed to be sure, but...
Out my face, or I'll punch your lights out. Like...
He smacks your hand away, refusing the potion.
You're trying to kill me, ain't you? Get! Those bleeding fools think they run the place, but I showed them. I.
Save your spirit to fight the Reaper.
Amid the squalor of Fort Joy, you suddenly spot an elf with diamond features, regal and radiant, but cold too, and sharper than any knife. She was among the sorcerers with whom you fought the Voidwoken down in the hold of the sinking ship. Her eyes are focused on a lizard some distance away, and you get the distinct feeling he's an unfortunate man indeed to be trapped in her tiger-like gaze. No sooner have these words left your mouth than she turns about and grabs you in a stranglehold. You feel the tip of a long needle being pushed a little ways into your neck.
You caught me off guard. No one catches me off guard. Who are you? But you did, and now the tables have turned. You look quite startled to me.
A push, a pivot, and now you suddenly face her. The needle still all too deeply embedded in the side of your throat. Despite the precariousness of your situation, you notice a flaw in her diamond features.
But because it is my desire to question him intensely. As for the reason, you're staring at it. You see, once upon a bad old time, a lizard cut this thing, this living scar, into my cheek. The mark of a slave. But now I'm free, of sorts. And I've traced that lizard here, to Fort Joy. I intend to raise the subject with him.
She drives the needle in deeper and whispers.
In truth, it does not matter in the least who you really are. You saw me mark my prey. You could warn him, save him, or kill him before I get my chance. That makes you a liability. That makes you needle feed.
A bright sparkle of laughter follows your proposal.
Ha! How amusing. I admit I had not seen that twist coming. I was certain the pitiful begging was about to begin. Make your case and do it quickly. Why should I join you? Escape? How you do tickle me. Most of the misguided deers around here would argue such a thing is impossible. I'm inclined to agree. You managed to catch me off guard, after all. Oh, little needle mine, what should I do? Push or pull? The agony of choice. You know what? Today is a rather fine day. Sunshine and an easy breeze. Yes, I'll let you live. I'll even agree to travel with you, provided we talk to that lizard I mentioned. I'm not quite sure the weather will save him.
With a casual flick of the wrist, she withdraws the needle from your neck and smiles, as if she just invited you to sit down for tea.
Let's discuss our respective roles then, shall we? You, me, and Death will be playing many a round of hide and seek. As a rogue, my speciality is stealth, the quick silence of the dagger striking unseen. That suits me fine. Then follow me.
You're not quite certain you'll ever sleep soundly with Sabine in any sort of proximity, but at least she's on your side, for the moment. As you're about to approach the lizard, Sabine cups your chin between thumb and index finger, then guides your eyes to hers.
Listen, I need to have a chat with this here morsel of flesh. He has wronged me once, but may just do right by me this time.
To your surprise, Sabine proceeds to throttle the unsuspecting lizard with one hand as she drives the tip of her needle into his lower belly with the other. Then the questions commence. You hear him yelp about the master, lone wolves, and a man called Griff. Then, quite suddenly, there's blood everywhere as Stingtail falls to the ground, face first into his own intestines. Sabine heaves a sigh of satisfaction, and as she wipes her needle clean, shoots you a cursory look.
Chat's over.
So, that seemed just a tad excessive.
What you witnessed was an exercise in restraint, and jolly good fun to boot. Something on your mind? It's simple. He scarred me, so I scarred him. Extensively.
She defies you with devilishly innocent eyes.
Can you blame me? There it is. I was wondering when your spying would make an appearance. Anyway, what's dead is done, so let's move on, shall we? Despite my high hopes, this scar disfigures me still. The search for the master continues, of course. Hungry work, the hunt. And you know what? Stingtail mentioned a cook, as it happens. A fellow named...
I think this was the crate I was after. Looks like someone's made off with most of the contents, though.
try it again. Come on, chap. Don't be unreasonable. Better even to puke yourself to death than get purged.
I've got that he was asking after. Pick a coin then.
The lizard's brow knits together, then apart, and back again. He seems to be swimming deep in his thoughts and doesn't look up as you approach.
The ground. I don't know what you... I'm just trying to work it out. What happened? Why? My mind? What else, my friend? I'm wondering why. All of this. Source, the Voidwoken, the Divine. Why? Naturally. How could one not? We've used Source for thousands of years. We have used it to heal, to grow. How can it be that it suddenly summons these horrors from the void? And when will Alexander ascend to divinity? We cannot continue like this.
Better even to puke yourself to death than get purged, don't you think?
When another divine arises, will Source change back? What if there are no sorcerers left?
The woman is scrabbling at her throat, as though she can hardly breathe.
Don't touch me. You're too close. This collar, this place, it's squeezing the life from me. I can't. I can barely even catch my breath. How is it possible? 1 minute you're in the garden in the sun. The next you're here, and they've put this thing around your neck.
Her hands move again to her throat. She seems to try to make space between her neck and the collar, but there's no... The woman is scrabbling at her throat, as though she can hardly breathe. As she catches sight of you, recognition flashes in her terrified eyes. She drops her hands from her throat and starts hyperventilating.
Ben, Mist, Ethan, Ben, Mist, you killed them! You killed them! He killed them all! Murderer! Keep him away from me! Help! Somebody! Keep him away!
Right hand, my winker. Fella's got more right hands than an octopus.
When another divine... That's it.
As soon as I saw that glint in your eye, I knew we'd make a solid team. I am too, I must say. Good to know someone's got your back when the going's tough.
Ifan nods and surveys the horizon before striding on.
I don't think I ain't watching.
Guards! Guards! Keep him away from me!
Yeah, what of it? Grab it, you gobblers, the both of you.
Don't like the game, Topsy, you can fold.
No, just 'cause the pair of you are filthy cheating.
The fella can't hear himself think with all this racket. Day and night she hollers after that child. You hear that, Farah? You gotta cut that out. What's happened to you?
Come on, old man. I can't
Known her all my life. Her little girl Irma, too. Farah was a straight-shooting woman in those days. But now she's madder than a cuckoo and twice as loud. What else do you call hollering after a ghost? That child of hers she's shouting after's been dead and buried a month over. Killed by a Voidwoken back in our... And there ain't no amount of hollering that'll bring her back.
Come on, old man. I can't wait all day.
Please, can you... An elf! Stay away, cannibal. If I find out you've gone near my baby, I'll skin you alive. I don't care. I don't care. Please, just leave me be. Irma, where are you, dear? Mummy's worried sick about you.
She ignores you and
Don't mean I can't beat ya.
Irma?
A little respect for Griff's right hand, Topsy girl.
Stay back. Stay back.
That's it. I call court. Looky here, mates. A fresh face. We love fresh faces, don't we? Oh, yes, we do. Why don't you join us in a round of cards? First hands on the house. Chuff to you, Chief. Here are your cards. You're up first.
You glance at your hand. 2 purple monarchs. A hard hand to beat.
Quite the hand, Freshie. Unfortunately, 2 is less than 5, and that's blaming a bloke you just met for your misfortune, are ya? Ease off, or I'll go ahead and double what you owe. Are you really gonna make this so hard, Freshie? We'll see about that, Freshie.
Meet your maker.
You there? Elf? I'm looking for an inmate. A smallish man, thick spectacles, prone to somewhat eccentric chatter. He wears a large bronze pendant with a dragon stamped into it. Have you seen him? None of your business, inmate. Find me if you hear of a me-go. Otherwise, don't... Come on, old man. I can't wait all day.
I'm not mad, darling. I'm not mad. Sweetheart?
I got my eye on you, Moss Muncher. Don't try any of that sauce business on my watch or I'll do to you what the hammer did to that traitor. You shut that filthy gash in your face before I cut it right off you. You're all the same, you sorcerers. Don't recognise what's good for you. Like...
An odd-looking young woman is staring intently at the statue to the divine, fingers curled rigidly at her sides. Greyish-black veins run from her eyes down her cheeks. Her head snaps to you mechanically, and her eyes lock with yours, dark pupils dilated into great black voids. Light suddenly flashes back into her face. The grey veins drain to pinkish flesh, and her whole body relaxes.
Hi, who are you? Some lady? Ah, it's nothing really. It's just... I'm just a bit... well, a bit... hospitable? Wait, you mean you don't recognize me? Ha! This is great. Really, well, it's a damn good story. Well, I was giving this concert up on Overlook Hill. There was a great crowd. They were really feeling it. But I guess it was too good. I had me a little sauce flare-up. Everyone went a bit, I don't know, wild, rabid. I snapped out of it before anyone got hurt, but the Magisters caught me backstage afterwards. Ah, it's nothing really. It's just... I'm just a bit... Put it like this. You've never been a host, I bet. That's because you're an infested clump of leaves on the side of the road. That ain't bad, though. I'd give just about anything to be like you. But I'm a roadside inn. Red door, flowers out front, friendly like a goddamn gold star inn for the disembodied.
She gives you a searching look.
You seem pretty well adjusted. So, how are you enjoying the joy? Yeah, same story here. Reckon in my case, they might actually be right, though. So, you want to check this place out together? Strength in numbers and all that. It does, right? Before we head out, I've got more than a few tricks up my sleeve. So lately, I've been into the inn. Sounds fine. Yeah? Well, that was easier than I thought. And I'll do my best to stay myself. Lead the way.
Amidst a crowd of screws, bolts, and scraps of metal, the woman is manipulating a glove-like contraption fitted with 5 long metal skewers. She doesn't look up as you approach.
What you after?
A grin cracks her stony face.
Sure thing. Get bent.
The Magister stares at the ground, unaware of your presence. With a start, she looks up and realizes someone is standing right beside her. Her eyes meet yours. She doesn't blink.
The Divine is dead. The Bishop is all we have left. Is it that easy for your kind? Plant a tree and grow a new god? Sprout one in a glass house? No.
Her voice trails to silence, and she resumes staring at the ground, lost deeply in thought.
I do wish Alexander would ascend sooner rather than later. I put my faith in the Bishop. Reminds me of his father. And what he said has been true. Wherever there are sorcerers.
Watch yourself, girl.
Ain't fit for beasts.
You're scared, are ya? Go on.
As soon as I saw that glint in your eye...
Ifan nods and surveys the...
I've got that.
Perhaps if those bleed...
Sabine gently places a hand on the small of your bag. Her mouth reaches your ear with a whisper.
Let me have a word with the gentleman, would you? I've a little clue to follow up on.
Sabine steps forward and asks Griff the cook about the lone wolves. A dead little birdie told her he's the man to talk to. A little back and forth ensues. Money crosses hands, and before you know it, Sabine stands back beside you, all smiles.
Thank you. We should make good on our escape, you know. I have to see a man about a wolf in the hollow marshes. Naught but a whelp in skillful hands, I'm sure. Zalaskar's his name. A name for the taking, if it comes to that.
Griff glances from his blade to you and back again. Griff tears into one of the oranges with both hands. Juice squirts through his hands as he desperately rips through the rind.
Looks like everything's accounted for. Now the important question.
He raises an eyebrow.
Looks like someone did my job for me. Your guy's free to go. He should be fine. Eventually.
It is done. And quickly. I thank you. Very, very much. I hold my end of the bargain. I show you the way out. But I have something more to ask of you. Sahela, a young girl here. I am her protector, and she is everything. A ruler. It is for all our people. For the world. Give me your map. I show you the way out. I give you this amulet. You must pass it to the elves who still remain. Tell them Sahela is here. They will send help. I go to her. I wish you good luck, and I thank you for us all.
Here's the goods.
Ah, you're back. Oh, it's so good to see you, mate. You look... Sure, have a look.
Don't tell anyone where you got this, eh?
Everything now? Good.
Perhaps if those bleeding dwarves didn't eat so much. Worse than war rations, these.
If a magister finds this on you, you forget my name, here. Everything there? Good. Here's the goods. Like you wanted.
Got it.
Perhaps if those bleeding dwarves didn't eat so much. Ain't fit for beasts. Worse than war rations, these.
Here's the goods. Like you wanted.
Everything now? Good.
Ain't fit for beasts.
Don't tell anyone where you got this, eh?
Ain't fit for beasts.
Here's the goods. Like you wanted.
Perhaps if those bleeding dwarves did meet so much.
Bow your head, please! If we chant the endless prayer, the next divine will ascend, even if your kind has displeased the god so terribly.
You know what I mean, elf. The dwarves and lizards are no better. The lot of you would... The time of source is over.
He died to save us all, yourself included, though some blame the Voidwoken for Alexander's failure to ascend. If all we sorcerers can...
Say what you will about the Divine Order. Say what you will about the Bishop and the Hammer. They're the only ones looking after us now that the Divine is dead.
She don't listen to reason. Maybe...
He hasn't changed a bit. Always.
She ignores you and continues calling out for...
Please, please, you must help me. No one here will help me. Not one of these bastards. She was here. I only turned away for a moment. I'm sick with worry. Completely sick. And no one in this damn camp will lift a finger to help me find her. Yes, of course. Here, you should take it with you. When you find her, give her the doll and tell her, Mummy says this is for her little chicken, and it's time to come home. That's what I call her, my little chicken.
She soaks up a steady stream of tears with her shirt sleeve.
She ought to come with you then. She ought to follow you back to me. This place turns people cold and wicked. That fellow Jeth over there speaks unutterable evil. You are an angel. Truly you are.
Come on, old man. I can't wait all day.
Mummy's right here. Where are you?
When another divine arises, will source change back?
I'm meeting someone here. That someone ain't you.
The woman looks out on the gently lapping waves. She seems totally at peace, but as you approach, she turns to you with a cheerful smile.
Haven't seen you around here before. New? Well, don't worry too much if you have a hard time settling in. Takes a while. You here alone?
She gives you a long look.
You keep them friends of yours close, eh? Some of us haven't got anyone at all anymore. Not much in this world someone you love can't make better. It's nothing. If I haven't learnt that by now, used to be I had a family. A husband and a little boy. We were healers. Source was in our blood. Then they brought us here. I couldn't stop them from taking my boys from me when they did. Reckon they were cured. Maybe even released. Now I'm just waiting for him to call my name. Waiting and remembering.
Her eyes sparkle.
Kind of you to ask. Stefan. He was my little one. Smart as a whip and no less wicked. And my husband, he was called Felix. He was an expert healer.
She talks for some time about birthdays, about Felix's prickly beard, about the skunk Stefan once dragged home for a pet. Joy radiates from her as she remembers. She places a warm hand on your shoulder.
What a gift to think of them. I'd like to give something to you too. A family recipe. One of Felix's best. He'd be happy to know it went to such a warm soul. Take care of yourself. You hear? You're a sweet one.
Here you are. I wonder what keeps you. Tell me your tale. For I am an elf. The tongue of others is not my tongue. You may speak of then and when, I do not. I refuse to learn their strange speech. We are unfamiliar, yet familiar. We are the same material, you agree? I am very curious. So tell me your tale. Start from the beginning. Start from where you come. I see. Now tell me more. Tell me what you do. Tell me what you find. I understand. Now tell me how your story ends. Ah, you want reunion. Life is lonesome. Yes, life is lonesome. The thing you love is gone. I have something for you, my friend. A gift. We can see the things we lose, not with our eyes, but with our hearts. This ruby does the trick. It is nothing. Many fragments swirl on my shore. See what I gather.
Is that thing eating corpses?
The creature heaves through lips gummed with human gore. It turns to you with great effort, pain apparent in every movement, and madness screams from its wide, bloodshot eyes.
You. Quite lost. Careful, or they'll cross your wires. Now, a little query. Where grows the yarrow? Quickly now, for I haven't much time. You want to leave. You want to go. Tell me where the yarrow grows. Tell me now, or shall I pick your parts clean too? Ugh! Where does the yarrow grow?
Prepare yourself.
I'll yield to none!
The dead man, creature, thing, lies in a heap on the beach.
This is the Order's horrible work. Is this what they have in store for the rest of the sorcerers?
Maybe there was something to his obsession with Yarrow. Perhaps it means some spark of his personality remained.
His obsession with Yarrow suggests he wasn't entirely mad.
I've spotted something. I need to dig here. I don't have the right tools for digging.
The shrine depicts Lucian the Divine, avatar of the 7 gods. You hear a strange sound, like rusted hinges creaking and air rushing through a tunnel.
Shrine. By the looks of it. The Divine himself, Lucian. Shrine's turned into a memorial, it seems.
That face, it's almost familiar, like a long-faded memory. The droplet burns both hot and cold, and yet you feel no pain. You step towards the flow, desiring more, wanting desperately for it to take you, and darkness envelops you.
This won't be of any use.
Get that girl and her head sucker out of here.
I guess he's talking about you? Let's just see about that. Hey, loudmouth. What gives?
I'm trying to relax here, aren't I? Whatever's going on with you and your passenger, I don't really need it in my vicinity.
You can see it?
See? Nay. Sense? Good God, yes.
You're a mystic too.
Mystic? Ha! Used to be a sort of demonologist, though. Was learning the arts, at least. Never did have much of a knack for it, to be honest. Studied under a real maestro, though. Learned this and that, too. Doubt it. Exorcism's a Tier 3 skill. I was only halfway through Tier 1 when I got thrown in here.
Come on, make yourself useful. There's gotta be something you can do.
Well, I might be able to tell you exactly what's inside you. Might be any number of things. A ghost. Let me try something.
He places a thumb on each of Losa's temples and one foot gently on hers.
Now, let's see. Wow! Holy, holy, holy. You ought to thank your lucky stars. That thing hasn't turned you into a meat puppet by now.
Crick on a cracker.
You need help. Serious help.
Don't I know it?
Do me a favour. Get out of here and hie to the north of Driftwood. My old master was hot on the heels of something there, and if anyone can help you, he can.
Driftwood, Old Master, Hot Hills. Got it.
I don't dare say it now. Not while our guest is listening. Don't you worry. With something like that inside you, Loser, he'll either come to you, or you'll be drawn to him soon enough. Sorcerer! What do you think you're doing, prowling around inside the fort? Ha! And what is it you think you saw? Ha! This cockroach is a traitor. He'd get worse than this if Dallas caught him. Speaking of roaches...
He looks you up and down.
Too bad there's not a bit of meat to you. Guess my hounds will have to be happy with the bones.
Healing!
You come to fight. You come to prove yourself. You come to be worthy. There can only be one, and you have but one chance.
She scoffs.
To prove you are the one. Never mind. The one does not ask such a question.
A deep grumble emerges from him, as if from an endless cavern. Your bones vibrate to the rhythm of his greeting.
Well, get a load of you. You got swagger, I'll give you that. But I reckon I could squash you like a bug with just my left thumb. Look around, Elf. What you see is what you get. It's a fighting arena. You step into it when it's your turn and take whacks at whatever comes barreling towards you. Glad I found it. Spent half my life ripping apart men and mages, sometimes for pay and sometimes for fun. Sure, as powerful as anyone else seems to me, my blade doesn't discriminate. It cuts a woman's throat just as cleanly as any man's. The one is a living god. Might sound crazy to you, but it's just the way of it. You battle in the arenas. You get divine power if you come out on top. Ain't nobody needing your approval. You gonna tell me you don't like the idea of becoming a god? I know better. But it don't matter. You ain't got no chance of proving much more than your own name by the looks of you.
He grumbles what sounds like a farewell.
Can we get on with this
She sizes you up as you approach. Her eyes narrow.
You've yet to experience the joy and pain of true combat, I see. Not much, I wager. Should you wish to ascend as the one, yet I see potential in you. You have a reason to fight. You could go far. This is how we worship. A brutal warrior will ascend. You'll return.
The old man looks you up and down and smiles.
Will you fight?
Warfare is worship.
Perhaps not. But at times it is best to conquer that which repulses us. We seek the one.
Nice. Just nice. Hoping the next batch is better than nice.
I've waited this long. I can wait longer.
We will rejoin our comrades.
Don't tell anyone where you got this, eh?
I'd say we're making good progress already, no?
Ifan shrugs off his backpack and reaches into its depths. After rummaging around, he holds out a tattered page to you upon...
Have a read of my contract and find out.
Perhaps if those bleeding dwarves didn't mean so much.
So, time to find this Boris fellow. Ah, you've read my contract. What does that look in your eye mean? Maybe.
He sniffs the wind, gazing out across the dilapidated buildings of Fort Joy, as if looking for something.
But maybe it's going to work out. I've got a contract, a man on the inside, and now you. Good to know. And likewise, with whatever errands of your own you have.